Ever wondered why that one acronym, IELTS, keeps popping up? It feels like this unavoidable step if you're dreaming about studying overseas or working, maybe even moving abroad.
It really does. And people often see it as just a hurdle, but it's framed as this global passport for a reason.
Totally. So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack all these sources you've sent us, guides, articles, even stories from people who've taken it. We want to figure out, what IELTS is, why it matters so much, and what you really need to know.
Right. From picking the right test to what happens on the day and how to actually prepare without going crazy.
Exactly. Our goal here is to pull out the essentials, give you that clear picture pretty quickly.
And it is more than just another English test. IELTS, that's the International English Language Testing System, its weight comes from how standardized it is.
Standardized means reliable, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why over 11,000 organizations trust it. Think universities, immigration authorities, professional groups, in more than 140 countries. That global acceptance is really key.
Wow, okay. So it's a benchmark recognized pretty much everywhere, and it tests the 4 core language skills.
That's it. Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. It's designed to see how well you can actually use English in, real-life situations, academic, work, social.
And who actually needs to take this? Is it just for students aiming for a university?
Oh, definitely not just students. I mean, yes, that's a huge group, but you also need it for professional registration.
Like doctors, nurses?
Exactly. Doctors, nurses, engineers, lawyers sometimes. And then there's migration if you're looking at Canada, Australia, the UK, New Zealand. They often require IELTS. So it really does function like that global passport.
It proves you've got the language chops for these big moves.
Precisely.
And some of the stories in the sources really hit that home, like Aisha. She needed an 8.0, not just because it looked good, but it was required for her nursing job in the UK.
Yeah, it wasn't a nice to have. It was the barrier to entry for her career there.
Or Carlos, using his 7.5 for Canadian residency. He was apparently a bit skeptical at first.
Right, that a test could matter that much for immigration. But it absolutely did. These scores directly impact people's lives and plans.
Okay, so you figured out you need it. Then comes the first hurdle. Which type of IELTS? The sources mentioned 2 main ones.
Yes, academic and general training. And this is critical. You need to pick based on your goal.
So academic is for?
University study, or that professional registration we mentioned. Higher education, basically.
And general training.
That's more for work experience below degree level, vocational training, or migration purposes.
Okay, so the rule of thumb is uni or professional body, go academic, immigration or maybe certain jobs, general training. Seems clear enough, but getting it wrong sounds like a big problem.
Oh, absolutely. Your score just won't be accepted if you take the wrong one. So double check what your institution or visa requires.
Right, so once you've nailed the type, then there's the format decision. Paper or computer?
Ah, yes, the modern choice. And the sources are really clear on this.
Mm-hmm.
The test content is identical.
Really? No difference in difficulty?
None. Same questions, same timing for sections, same scoring. Even the speaking test is still face-to-face with an examiner, whichever format you choose for the other parts.
So it's not about which one is easier then?
Not at all. It boils down to your personal comfort. Are you faster typing or writing by hand? What feels less stressful for you?
Okay, let's look at the computer-based one first. Who does that usually suit?
Well, it seems best if you're a quick typist, obviously. Also, if you like using digital tools highlighting on screen, copy-paste for planning your writing, and a big one, if you need your results fast.
How fast are talking?
Usually 3 to 5 days, compared to 13 days for the paper test. That can make a huge difference for deadlines.
Okay, advantages seem to be that clean interface, maybe easier editing for writing. But downsides?
If typing under pressure stresses you out, or you're just not that fast, it could be a disadvantage. And you can't physically scribble notes on the question paper like you can with paper.
Yeah, I saw that tip from Sam Band 7.0. He went computer because he typed way faster than he wrote and needed those quick results. Made sense for him.
Exactly.
The paper-based test, the classic approach.
Right. This suits people who just feel more comfortable writing by hand. People who like to physically interact with the paper underlining, circling, making notes in the margins.
So the pros are that familiarity and the freedom to plan visually on the actual paper. Cons.
You have to manage your own time closely without that on-screen timer ticking down. And, handwriting needs to be legible. That's non-negotiable.
Makes sense. Maria, Band 8.0, preferred paper specifically for brainstorming her essays, scribbling outlines right there.
Yeah, some people find that physical process helps them think.
So the decision checklist from the sources is helpful. How's your typing versus writing speed? How urgent are results? How comfortable are you using a computer for a test? Do you need to make physical notes?
And the key advice is
Yeah,
choose based on your strengths. Don't pick computer just because someone said it's modern if you type at a snail's pace. Play to what you do best.
good advice. Okay, type and format decided. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. The test structure itself, what actually happens in each section.
All right, let's break it down. It always starts with listening. That's about 30 minutes of audio.
Plus extra time for paper-based.
Yes, if you're on paper, you get 10 extra minutes at the end, just to transfer your answers neatly onto the answer sheet. Computer-based, you type answers directly, so no transfer time needed.
And the format,
4 sections, 40 questions total. You'll hear conversations between people and also monologues like lectures or talks. And the absolute killer point.
let me guess. You only hear it once?
Bingo. Played once, straight through. No rewinding, no pauses requested. You have to catch it the first time.
Intense. What skills are they testing there?
Understanding main ideas, finding specific details, catching opinions or attitudes, following how an argument develops. It's comprehensive listening.
That tip from Kenji, Band 8.0, about practicing with different accents makes a lot of sense then.
Definitely. UK, US, Australian, Canadian. You could hear various accents. And that mini episode idea about pausing podcasts to summarize, great practice for active listening.
Or just taking notes while you listen normally trains the brain. Okay, after listening.
Comes reading. That's a solid 60 minutes, 3 reading passages, 40 questions again.
And the texts vary depending on academic or general training, right?
Correct. Academic gets longer, denser texts, think academic journals, textbooks. General training uses more everyday materials, company handbooks, advertisements, notices, that kind of thing. Still need good reading skills, though.
What skills exactly?
Skimming to get the overall idea fast. Scanning to find specific names, dates, or keywords. Understanding arguments, opinions, implications. Farah, Band 7.5, mentioned highlighting keywords in the questions. First really helped her focus her reading.
Smart strategy. Saves time wandering through the text. Okay, next up is writing.
Also 60 minutes, but this time for 2 distinct tasks, Task 1 and Task 2.
And task 1 is where the big difference lies between the test types.
Yeah, exactly. For academic Task 1, you get a graph, chart, table, or diagram, and you have to describe the information objectively. For general training Task 1, you write a letter. Could be formal, semi-formal, or informal, depending on the situation given.
And task 2.
Task 2 is an essay for both academic and general training. You'll be given a topic, a viewpoint, or a problem, and you need to write a structured response, giving your opinion, discussing viewpoints, proposing solutions, whatever the prompt asks.
So skills here involve describing data clearly for academic, writing appropriately toned letters for general, and building a logical, well-supported argument in the essay for both.
Precisely. Organization, vocabulary, grammar, coherence, they're all crucial. Tarek, who got an 8.0, really emphasized timed practice using templates or structures.
Yeah, that helps manage the 60 minutes effectively. And that tip about taking just 1 minute to outline task 2 before writing.
So valuable. Just jotting down 3 or 4 main points prevents rambling and keeps you focused. It seems small, but it makes a big difference to clarity.
Okay, last but not least, speaking. The face-to-face part.
Yep. Always one-on-one with an examiner, usually lasts between 11 and 14 minutes.
Quite short, actually.
But packed, I imagine. What's the structure?
3 parts. Part 1 is like a warm-up. Simple questions about you, your home, work, hobbies. Helps you settle in.
Okay.
Part 2 is the long turn. You get a topic on a cue card, 1 minute to prepare notes, and then you speak about it for up to 2 minutes.
That's the bit people often worry about, right?
It can be daunting, yeah. Then Part 3 follows on from the Part 2 topic. It's a more abstract, two-way discussion with the examiner, exploring the themes in more depth.
And they're assessing.
Fluency and coherence, how smoothly and logically you speak. Lexical resource, your vocabulary range and accuracy. Grammatical range and accuracy, using different structures correctly. And pronunciation being clear and easy to understand. It's not about accent, it's about clarity.
Min, Band 7.5, found recording himself on cue card topics super helpful for spotting weaknesses.
That's a fantastic technique. You hear your own pauses, your ums and uhs, where your ideas maybe didn't connect. And the difference between, say, a Band 6 and a Band 9 response that the sources mention, it's about richness and detail, isn't it?
Yeah, instead of just, my hometown is nice, you aim for something more descriptive and structured, using better vocabulary and linking ideas. Thinking in pictures helps add that detail.
Okay, we've got the structure down. But knowing the structure isn't enough. Preparation is key. If you're tired of just random YouTube tips, What do the sources say actually works?
Well, first off, really understanding the test format we just discussed is step one. Download those official sample papers, look at the marking criteria, know what they're looking for.
And then build daily habits, right? That seemed like a big theme.
Absolutely. Consistency trumps cramming. For reading, read widely every day, news sites like the BBC, maybe National Geographic, journals if you're academic. Practice skimming and scanning actively.
For listening.
Engage actively. Don't just have English audio on the background. Listen to TED Talks, podcast interviews. Try to note the main points, the speaker's tone. That pausing and summarizing trick is great active practice.
Speaking.
Yes. Talk about IELTS-style topics. Record yourself, like Min did. Focus on speaking smoothly, clearly, organizing your thoughts. Use those cue cards.
And writing. Outline, outline, outline.
Outlining task 2 ideas daily is a fantastic habit, even if you don't write the full essay. And if you can, swap your writing with someone for feedback. A fresh pair of eyes helps a lot.
Dev, Band 8.0, really nailed it, saying that consistent 40-50 minutes daily was way better than occasional long study sessions. It's about building the skills steadily.
Totally agree. And use good resources. The Cambridge IELTS books are the gold standard for practice tests. Websites like IELTS Liz, IELTS Advantage offer tons of help. BBC Learning English, British Council, lots of quality stuff out there.
And the sources mention that new free app, IELTS Pulse. What's the deal with that?
It sounds like it tries to bring a lot of useful things together in one place. Strategies, practice tests with instant feedback. They mentioned an AI writing assessment feature coming soon, which could be interesting.
And a speaking buddy matcher. That sounds useful.
Yeah, finding people at your level to practice with can be tough. So the app aims to simplify that whole prep journey. Sahana, 7.5, said the checklists and reminders felt like having a mini coach.
Which is great for staying on track. It also seems important to tailor your prep plan based on your target score.
Definitely. Aiming for Band 6 requires focusing on fundamentals and accuracy. Band 7 needs more control over complex language and better linking of ideas. Band 8 Plus is about really polishing precision, fluency, and tackling sophisticated topics. You need to adjust your focus based on where you are and where you need to get.
And review that plan regularly, maybe weekly, based on practice tests.
Smart prep beats just hard prep. Structure it, use the tools, stay consistent.
And remember that progress isn't always linear, right? Some days are tougher. Just keep showing up. Celebrate the consistency.
Exactly. That's the mental game.
Okay, practical stuff now. Registration, test day rules, the logistics. Ready to book. What do you need to know?
First, be absolutely sure about your test type, academic general, and format, paper, computer. We covered how to decide that earlier.
Then head to the official IELTS website, or IDP, or British Council.
Yes. Find a test center and date that works for you. Create an account, upload your ID, usually your passport, make sure it's clear, and pay the fee.
Namain's tip book 6 weeks early. Don't wait.
Good advice, especially in busy times or places. And the ID you use to register must be the one you bring on test day. Check that expiry date.
And mistakes to avoid during registration.
Using a nickname instead of your official name. Uploading a bad photo. Forgetting to note down your exact test time and location. Simple things, but they cause big problems.
So, doze. Double-check everything, read the confirmation email carefully, save the details. Attention to details saves stress later.
Absolutely. Okay, fast forward to test day. It can feel intense.
What do you actually bring, and what stays home?
Bring your valid ID, the same one used for registration. If it's paper-based, bring pencils, HB recommended, pens and eraser. Leave phones, smartwatches, any notes, bags. Leave it all outside the test room or in secure storage if they provide it.
Arav's tip. Pack the night before, less morning panic.
Smart move. Arrive early too. 30-45 minutes before the scheduled start time.
Why so early?
For check-in. They need to verify your ID, maybe take a photo or fingerprint on the day for security, show you where to store belongings. If you're late, you might be turned away. No test, no score, fee lost.
Ouch. Okay, so you're checked in. What happens inside?
You'll be guided to your seat. They'll give instructions. Then it's listening, reading, writing, one after the other. No breaks in between those three.
And speaking might be separate.
Often is. Could be later the same day or even a day or two before or after. Naur, Band 8.0, mentioned hers was 2 days before. Be prepared for that possibility.
What if you feel really sick on the day? Can't perform.
Tell the staff immediately. Don't just suffer through. If you have to miss it due to illness, you'll need to get a medical certificate quickly within 5 days and contact the test center to see about a refund or reschedule.
Good to know there's a process. And the official rules inside the test room. Strict, but simple. Same ID. Be on time. No forbidden items. Follow staff instructions precisely. Even whispering can get you disqualified. Focus only on your own test.
What about mistakes during the test that cost marks, even if you know the stuff?
Spelling mistakes on the listening reading answer sheet. Ouch! Going off topic in writing or speaking. Not writing enough words in writing. Leaving answers blank instead of guessing in L&R. Speaking too briefly in speaking.
Little things that add up, and for paper tests, the answer sheet discipline.
Crucial. Use pencil for L&R. Erase properly. Write clearly in writing. Check spelling before time's up. Don't write outside the lines. No shorthand. Ritu, band 7.0, felt she lost points just on poor structure in writing. Format matters.
And finally, speaking test behavior, the do's and don'ts.
Do. Speak clearly, confidently, naturally. Engage with the examiner. Ask for clarification if needed. That's okay.
Don't.
Don't memorize answers that sounds fake. Don't have long, awkward pauses. Don't give super short answers. Don't argue. Amir, 8.0, practice sounding spontaneous, which is key. Right, and avoid those unnecessarily complex words if you're not sure how to use them. Clarity over showing off.
Exactly. Natural, clear communication is the goal.
Okay, moving beyond the test itself. Let's talk scores, myths, and maybe special cases. What kind of scores do people typically need?
It varies hugely, which is why checking is essential, but generally for universities. Undergrad might be 6.0 to 6.5 overall, postgrad maybe 6.5, 7.5, sometimes higher for specific courses like law or medicine.
And for migration?
Again, depends on the country and visa type. Australia might need 6.0s. Canada often uses the CLB benchmark. CLB 7 is equivalent to IELTS 6.0 in each skill. UK visas have different requirements. Fatima, 7.5, needed a 7 in each part for her Canadian PR.
So the message is, check the specific website of the university, professional body, or immigration department. Don't rely on general info.
Absolutely critical. Requirements change too.
Now myths. There seem to be quite a few floating around IELTS. Let's bust some.
Myth 1. You need a native accent for a high speaking score like band 8 plus. Totally false. Examiners are trained to understand diverse accents. What matters is clarity. Can they understand you easily? Pronunciation, stress, intonation, that's important, not sounding British or American.
Myth 2. Using big, complex words guarantees a higher score.
Another trap. Using complex words incorrectly actually hurts your score. Precision and using the right word for the context is far better than throwing in fancy words you don't fully grasp, like using utilize when use is perfectly fine and more natural.
Right. Myth 3. IELTS is easier to pass in certain countries.
Nope. It's standardized globally. Same tests, same scoring criteria everywhere. Test conditions should be consistent.
Myth 4. There's only one correct way to structure an essay or answer a speaking question.
Examiners actually value variety, as long as your response is clear, logical, and directly answers the question. Sticking rigidly to one formula might even sound unnatural. Ishan, 8.0, said focusing on speaking naturally was his key to a high score.
Good advice. What about special circumstances, like disabilities or medical conditions?
IELTS does make accommodations. You can request things like extra time, modified papers like Braille or large print, a separate room, but you need to apply well in advance, usually at least 6 weeks, and provide official medical documentation.
Anaya, band 7.0, got extra time for dyslexia, which made a huge difference for her.
Exactly. And if you're sick on test day, we mentioned the medical certificate route for a potential refund or reschedule. Better not to test if you're unwell.
What about just needing to reschedule or cancel for other reasons?
It's usually possible up to 5 weeks before the test date, though there might be admin fees. Canceling early might get you a partial refund, but policies vary between IDP and British Council, so you need to check the specific terms when you book. Jonah, 8.0, had to reschedule due to a work conflict, and knowing the policy helped.
And if you take the test and don't get the score you need, can you retake it?
Yes, there's no limit on retakes. But the key is not just retaking, but figuring out why your score was low. Analyze your results, get feedback, maybe use mock tests or apps like Pulse to target your weaknesses before trying again.
Like Laura did, she went from 6.5 to 7.5 by really focusing on her specific weak areas.
It's about planning smart, learning from the experience, and bouncing back stronger.
We have covered so much ground today, from what IELTS even is and why it's this global key. Through choosing the right test, understanding every single section,
to deep dives into preparation, using resources effectively, navigating all the rules and logistics of registration and test day.
And finally, tackling scores, myths, and what to do if things don't go perfectly. Hopefully just understanding all this makes the whole thing feel, well, less scary.
Knowing what to expect really does reduce anxiety and helps you focus your energy where it counts.
You can always come back to these points. Remember that consistent, focused effort is what really moves the needle, not shortcuts.
And I think a final thought is just to remember that this IELTS journey, it's yours, it's personal. Find the strategies and routines that genuinely work for you and stick with them. It's about your growth, not just the final number on a certificate.
That's a perfect way to wrap it up. It's your path. You've got the info now. You've got this.